Here's Sophie to say what she got out of the French exchange.
Okay, I learned lots of new French language and I became slightly more fluent. I made lots of new friends and I tried lots of new things.
Great, and Sophie's being very, very modest there. You started off pretty fluent now. Remember, you really tried loads. So, is there anything particular you can think of off the top of your head that you learned that you didn't know before? Any language?
I learned how to say things that don't work because I learned the new verb, which is marsha. So that means to work, as in, yeah. So mon alarme ne marchait pas means my alarm didn't work.
Très bien, merci. Okay. Here's Josh to tell us what he got out of the French exchange.
I learned a lot of French and how the French people are much nicer to other people than English, and everyone's friends with everyone. So yeah.
That's a lovely thing. Thank you. Hi Ella. What about you?
I think that I've literally learned so much new language and picked up how you phrase your sentences just by listening to them. Every day you have to listen to what they say, and so it's just so nice just hearing what them speak. And I've made some really good friends in France, and I think that they've invited me back and they're just so hospitable, and I recommend to anyone who is ever considering doing an exchange that if you don't do it then you're stupid, because it's so fun.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm with Kyle then. So Kyle, can you tell me what did you actually get out of the exchange?
Well, I learnt lots and lots of new French, and the family I was with was really nice.
Could you just tell me a few examples of the things you learnt in French?
I learned si, which means if somebody says no, it's but I think yes. And another one was bouge, which kind of means move.
And what about vas-y? What does vas-y mean?
Vas-y means go.
Thank you very much. Merci. Okay, so Hannah, could you tell me what did you get out of the French exchange?
I learnt loads more French, and I got more confident with talking in French, and I made better friends with everybody.
That's great, thank you. Louis, what did you get out of the French exchange?
Well, I made a new friend and I feel a lot more confident about my French, and I also learned a few more words in French as well, so I'm really happy.
That's wonderful to hear. Was there anything in particular that you enjoyed as far as the activities go?
I enjoyed the whole trip. It's my favourite school trip, so I just really enjoyed it.
Great, thank you. Emily, what did you get out of the French exchange?
I could understand people when they were talking at the table, and I gained more confidence going into new families, and it was really good having a boy. I thought it would be really awkward or embarrassing, but I actually preferred to have a boy than to have a girl.
Excellent, thank you. So, Jess, could you tell me what did you get out of the exchange?
I learnt more about the French way of living, and I learnt how different it is to ours, and I made loads of friends I think I'm going to keep for a long time.
It's lovely. You said that you saw some differences. What were those differences?
Just the way they get to school. They have school buses that go all the way around, and just the way everything works. Meal times, they eat a lot later than us, and then there's some things that are the same. The families are all really nice to each other and they get along really well, just like they do in England, so that's good. And I really enjoyed having a boy because they were much more laid back, and it was just like having a little brother for a week.
Lovely, thank you so much. And here's Luke, and I am fascinated to know, Luke, what you got out of the French exchange.
I got many things out of the French exchange. For example, their love for food and bread and wine and cider and vodka. That's lovely. I just got shown a completely lovely photograph by my friend there. Now, this French game was absolutely great fun. Learned a lot about the culture and how the Frenchies are a lot more friendly than us, the English people. We tend to be a little brash towards people, where the French are all happy and cuddly in some kind of weird French way.
That's lovely to know. Did you cuddle many French people?
It wasn't just cuddling.
I don't know I can use that now, Luke. What about your friends? French language, Luke. Can you tell me about some French that you used or learnt?
I learnt plenty of French. Not all of it is possibly suitable for school, although it was absolutely amazing. It did improve my vocabulary much, and you learn the little, the phrases and the shortenings that they use.
Thank you very much, Luke. So I'm here with India now. Could you tell me, India, what did you get out of the French exchange?
I became much more confident in actually speaking French, I think. Because beforehand I was kind of a bit sort of, I think I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm not entirely sure. But I think now I'm sort of more up for like saying it anyway. It doesn't really matter if I get it wrong because I sort of know what I'm trying to say. I don't know really. I think something about being more confident. Yeah.
I've definitely noticed that. Thank you.
Sorry.
And now I'm with Jacob. What did you get out of the French exchange, Jacob?
Well, I got to know more about the French culture and how families live. And also, before I used to speak French, not thinking too much about the words, and now it comes out more fluently now.
Could you tell me what you noticed about the way that the French live then? You said you learnt more about the way French families live.
Well, I think that you can see quite obviously that the French are a bit more laid back than the English. They don't seem to be as strict, and family life is more fluent and enjoyable.
Thank you very much. So I'm now here with Toby. Toby, what was the best bit of the exchange for you?
The best bit of the exchange was on Saturday when I went to Paris. We went shopping around in Paris and I visited the PSG shop where the mum bought me a PSG shirt and a football, which was very good. And then after that we went to the Stade de France National French Football Stadium and had a tour. I was really impressed by it and I thought it was a really good day out.
Great, thanks. Here's Billy to tell us what he thought of the French exchange.
Well, I had a really good time and I also got a lot more confident in French.
Thank you very much. And here's my favourite student, Dan, to tell us what he got out of the French exchange.
I learned lots of French.
That's wonderful, Dan. Could you give me an example of a word that you learnt in French? That's really good. Hesitating in French is excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Here's Dan to tell us what he wished he had said.
I learned all the Black Ops maps.
Thank you very much. That's great to hear. Here's Emily to tell us what she got out of the French exchange.
I learned a lot of new language and got a whole lot more confident in speaking it. I feel better just going up to someone and speaking a bit of French. I also made lots of new friends with French people and enjoyed my time staying with the family and seeing what the French culture's like.
Great, thank you very much. Here's Owen to tell us what he got out of the French exchange.
Out of the French exchange, I got an experience of French culture and I expanded my French vocabulary. I made friends with a French person.
Okay, Sophie, what did you get out of the French exchange?
I made really new friends, and the family was so nice to me and made me feel really welcome. They spoke French to me and I learned some new language, and all the day trips were really, really good, and I learned a lot about the culture of France as well.
Was there any particular trip that you enjoyed in particular?
Well, I loved going to Paris with Sophie and her mum, although it was snowing. We went shopping in Paris and we went to see the Eiffel Tower and Notre Dame and walked along the Seine. It was really, really nice.
Right, thank you.
Possibly.
Okay, Tom, what did you get out of the French exchange?
I made a new friend and learned some more French, and yeah.
Was there anything in particular you enjoyed?
The food.
Any particular food?
Chocolate spread.
What's the name of the chocolate spread?
Nutella.
Yeah, that seems to be really popular. When did you eat it?
Pretty much all the time.
Okay, and how did you get on with your French correspondent?
Yeah, we did well. Got along.
Excellent. Thank you. Bye. And now we have Will to tell us what he thought of the French exchange.
I got learned a lot about the French history of that area of France, and I a lot about cutlery in French, in the French language, and why it's called what it is.
Thank you very much, Will. Un éléphant qui se baladait tout doucement dans la forêt porté sur son dos un petit perroquet qui s'appelait Jaco et qui buvait du lait. D'un petit éléphant qui s'appelait Dumbo.